The following marketing information and discussion is provided for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as professional guidance or consultancy. You should find an agency for that. Comexis is a digital marketing agency, so feel free to hire us. But otherwise, just enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Buyer's Journey by Comexis, a discussion-based podcast on the ever-changing marketing landscape. I'm Matthew McGroarty, the social media content producer here at Comexis.
I am Len Ward, the managing partner at Comexis.
And I'm Josh Lyons, the digital marketing coordinator here at Comexis.
It is Wednesday, and on Wednesday we talk about the purchase stage of the buyer's journey. And the purchase stage is when your potential client or customer becomes a client or customer by purchasing your product or service. But there's a lot more to it. For example, what does the packaging of your product look like? How does the customer get your product online, in store, et cetera, et cetera? And today we're talking about Macy's trying to make its stores, or some of its stores, feel a little bit more experiential and sort of add that more experiential marketing aspect to it. In the past, when we've talked about experiential marketing, we've talked about advocacy, mostly because a lot of the experiential marketing there has been truly experiential and not things that you actually are going to and buying. It's been a lot more like awareness experience marketing, which in my opinion doubles as sort of advocacy if you're posting on social media and stuff. This is directly purchase, and I will explain why in a second. So Story was a concept store that Macy's acquired last spring, and what Story did was they completely revamped their store based after a specific theme every couple months and carried products from small up-and-coming brands that specifically fit that theme. So now Macy's is going to be incorporating them into a couple of their stores. So the first Story theme at Macy's is called Color and include brands like Crayola, MAC, and Levi's Kids, which are also sponsors, meaning that they paid to participate in this. So smaller brands don't pay to be sold in the Story program, but there's a commission for sales. And basically Macy's is going to be changing the theme of this little corner or wherever it is in their store. I don't know the specifics because most Macy's are laid out in slightly the same but somewhat different ways. And they're going to be, on a regular basis, swapping out these themes and showing a new bit of products in a very interesting visual way. There's going to be pictures in our blog that you can check this out on, because some of the pictures of the things that Story have done have been actually really nice and really pretty looking. So, seems cool. So Rachel Stepman, Story's founder and CEO, became Macy's first brand experience officer following the acquisition. To quote her, where's her quote? I can't find her quote. Anyway, they wanted to build a brand experience team around sort of doing this. So they are a 15-person staff, and they want to make sure that their product curation stays the same, et cetera, et cetera. So they're just trying to basically encourage people to come in their stores and see something new every time, which is why I think it's more purchase based than anything else. So what do we think about this?
So this is a really interesting concept. I've never heard of anything like this before. As we all know, we've talked repeatedly in our blog, we're trying to think of ways, or you're talking about ways in which you're switching things up in regards to people coming to a store. We're talking about how Amazon's killing everything, but then there are some things that Amazon can't kill. So if you're, making the in-store purchase a better experience, is going to bring people there. I guess the question is that, I'm kind of lost on this. I'm trying to think about how I can work this in on the purchase stage. Because the more I think about it, what difference is this than them coming in when you walk into Nike, or when you walk into Macy's, and they may have a whole fall theme or a spring theme. So what's the difference?
So the main difference is, because that's what I was actually going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Obviously, stores change every couple months to fit with the seasons. However, these changes are not necessarily going to be seasonal. They're going to be specifically theme-based. So their first theme, for example, is colors. So, and there's going to be a picture of kind of what it's going to look like in the blog. Unfortunately, I can't pull it up for you guys at the moment. But it looks visually stunning. It looks very colorful, very inviting, and then all of the products are kind of going to be curated to fit that theme. So it's almost like going to a pop-up store
Right, I get it. Yeah.
in Macy's.
So why did they buy this company? Why didn't they just do it themselves?
Probably because it was easier to acquire the company and have,
I guess.
and have that. Because from what I understand, they acquired the company and then they took that same like 15, 16 person team and said, okay,
do the same thing in our Macy's store.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I get it. I mean, but to me, I think this can be kind of replicated fairly easily in any store, especially if you have access to products like a Macy's, like a Target, like a Walmart. You're kind of limited if maybe you're just like selling if you're Vans, that's going to be difficult to replicate that in the Vans store. But when you have, although you can do some stuff, but if you're Tilly's or you're somebody like that, then yeah, you have a bunch of different stuff that you can go in and say, here's what we can do. So I guess, I don't know, I guess this is a cool concept. I guess business lens kicking in saying, why did I just hire designers to do this for me?
So what I think is interesting about this is it's not like they're taking the products that Macy's would have bought anyway and putting on the shelves. Though obviously, when we think of like Crayola,
it's got to be products that Macy's carries.
It's going to be curated and it will involve like smaller sellers and stuff.
Okay.
In a specific curated list. So Crayola, obviously, big company. Macy's is going to have their products anyway in like the kids section.
Sure.
Right. But from what I'm understanding, it's going to be smaller curated products that specifically fit this theme that you might not be able to get elsewhere.
Okay, so this is kind of like pop-up stores with unique type stuff that you wouldn't be able to buy.
Yeah.
This gives them an advantage over somebody like an Amazon or an eBay because here are specific types of Crayola products or maybe even Nike products that are specifically meant for this part of ours. So it's a Macy's exclusive, and we're going to put our exclusives together and decide we're going to sell it. The way you phrase it there, I think it's actually a pretty good idea. So it's just a matter of, what products do the individual companies agree that would go into Macy's and so forth. So, okay, I get it.
What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, the two things that popped in my head about this was pop-up stores, which we've talked about, and then and exhibits. So like, I don't know if this makes a ton of sense, but for some reason it made me think that like the Franklin Institute does every once in a while to have like an exhibit where it's like a very specific concept to whatever the theme is, which I guess is the same idea. Because I went to the one where it was like the video game one, where it was like the history of like video games from back on the arcade games to the virtual reality, all that stuff. And then at the end of the exhibit, you could buy specific items to what that exhibit was about. That were very central to the story that you went through on the exhibit. So I guess it's the same idea, but with a little mix of a pop-in.
But yeah,
right. Where it's as simple as you walk in, you realize that these are the products that are very exclusive to this theme we're doing, and on top of that, we're also being put in a Macy's, which there's plenty of people that are walking through the stores that are going only for like specific items, but now they go in and they go, oh, like these are exclusive, they fit whatever this theme is. It actually might, I might be more inclined to buy it than if it was just like online.
Plus I think like there's a Macy's near my house in the mall, and Macy's like they don't like most, to be honest, like most stores in the mall, they don't look that interesting from like a visual standpoint.
Yeah, it might just pop.
So anything that like pops out, I mean, I don't know where these things are going to be placed, but I would be shocked if they weren't placed somewhere where people are going to see them, right? So I mean, if I'm going to go buy a pair of shoes at Macy's and I see this weird color thing, I might go check it out, right? It's just one more thing to incentivize people to come into the retailer that you can't get on their own online store or something like that. So I think it's interesting.
I think it's great. I think that you have a lot of stores like Macy's, like Walmart, that are really trying to figure out a way to thrive and succeed, in this challenging marketplace. And it's another great idea. These are really, really creative people that put a lot of the stuff together. I think you're going to see a lot of great ideas roll out to try to combat the online, menace per se. It's like the thing like Macy's needs the online presence, but they also still want you to come to the store. And I keep coming back. I told you, intelligent gentleman runs another agency, told me the same thing, how a mile away I can see this story type store turning into nothing short of a showroom. You go look at it, you like the products, you get your phone, you scan, you drive home, and the products are literally sitting on your front doorstep waiting for you. So I just see it's almost like it's almost like you can begin to see the migration, like, okay, they're going to set this stuff up where it's more of a showroom, and it's temporary showrooms that they're going to constantly be moving things in and out of, rather than having these big, massive buildings that you have to pack all this inventory in. It's going to be sitting at warehouses and stuff like that. So it's almost like if you're beginning to visualize what's taking place, you're beginning to see like the ground take shape and you're realizing what they're trying to do. So I would not be surprised if the next thing up is, no, you can't purchase the products right there, which I'm guessing right now you can purchase the products, right? But the next step is they'll be on your doorstep. Yeah. So
that's all for today's episode of The Buyer's Journey. Check us out on Comexis.com, YouTube, and anywhere you get your podcast. And follow us on Twitter at buyers_journey. Thanks for tuning in.